What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Got the Superman shirt on because of all the rumors that Rocksteady is probably working on a Superman game really starting to pop up now going into E3. So I'm excited, and I hope that's the case, because I want to see what they could do with that after the Arkham series. But it's E3 time, and you know what that means. It means E3 leaks, and it looks like we did get a very large leak for Nintendo that it seems to be correct. One of them on there I've seen and heard about, or at least heard about from people behind the scenes for a while now. And others, it seems like other places have also confirmed that it's correct. We're going to go over the leak. It's not like all of Nintendo's stuff. It's pretty much mostly third-party stuff, to be honest. Nothing like, no big surprises from Nintendo. So if you're trying to avoid leaks, this one's not that bad. And honestly, some of it's kind of obvious, except for like 2 games, and they're smaller indie titles, it seems. Then we also got to talk about FIFA 19 with EA seemingly taking it pretty easy on the Switch again, maybe phoning in just a little bit. We're going to start with some smaller news, like usual, right? We're going to start with some backwards compatibility for the Xbox One. This is happening next week. We have a couple games that were put out in a tweet by Rockstar. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, what's interesting is the original Xbox and the 360 version are both becoming backwards compatible. If you have the original Xbox version that you're playing, it won't transfer your save data. However, those people will get the better 360 version that has better visuals, frame rate, draw distance, and everything. Midnight Club Los Angeles, Midnight Club LA. I really like this Midnight Club. I'm really happy to see it show up as a backwards compatible game. This is all happening again next week. And then Table Tennis, which I actually enjoyed playing. I know it wasn't like a massively popular game, but I actually liked playing that one, and that one was also done by Rockstar, so it seems like a bunch of Rockstar games are going backwards compatible next week on the Xbox One. So if you already owned it on the 360, you should just be able to re-download it, or if you have the disc, you should be able to just pop it right in and start playing. It'll just have to call to the server, download it, and then you're off and running with any patches or compatibility stuff that they added in. We also had another game that got announced ahead of E3. It's a smaller indie title, but I like some of the work that the developing team behind these games is doing, and that is Soccer Slammers. I've talked about it a couple times now. That is actually showing up pretty soon. It's actually going to be $9.99, so it's $10. It's coming out June 14th. Of course, Jules Watcham actually went ahead and announced that from a TUI. And yeah, this is going to be a fun little game. It's a $10 game. It's not meant to be obviously like a big AAA or anything like that, but it looks like a lot of fun. It's going to be like kind of 2-on-2 soccer type action. Of course, you can split the Joy-Cons and play that way. Pretty cool looking. I'm excited about some of those little arcade soccer game type things, so I'm going to be checking this one out. Looks like it's going to be during E3 or right at the end of E3. You'll be able to pick it up on the eShop, so pretty cool there. Now, for today, guys, let's get into some of these E3 leaks. So, 4chan. 4chan is great, isn't it? A lot of leaks, supposed leaks and rumors come out of 4chan, but honestly, 4chan's been on a roll recently. Remember that Pokemon Eevee, or Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, that was put out, I believe, on 4chan on April 1st? And it was completely right, and everyone kind of dismissed it because it's 4chan, and it was April 1 that they put that out. Turns out it was completely right, so there you go, 4chan, good job. And now we hear, of course, about the Superman rumor from 4chan, and now this pops up. And this apparently is from an LA printing company that is doing work for kind of the E3 booth, some of the decorations and banners and stuff they put up. Here's the visual. You'll see some games there that apparently are coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now, I wasn't really going to pay attention to this as much because, of course, it's printed on paper, but there are some key things to point out here. One, after talking to some people, to the right, you'll see kind of, I guess, the ordering forms and stuff that they have there. According to a few people that I've talked to on Twitter now, that looks very correct, like in terms of what that sheet would look like. Those little numbers underneath where it's like 2x, 8x, 4x, apparently those are how many banners each one needs. And the other thing about this is nothing on here is like mind-blowing, you know? They're not like saying Call of Duty is on here, you know, nothing like that. Nothing that's like, oh wow, no Battlefield or anything. These are all believable games, and honestly, some of them are pretty much ones that we expected to show up on the Switch. So let's kind of go through these real quick. Dragon Ball Fighters, that is, I think that makes a lot of sense. Xenoverse 2 has sold very well on the Switch, especially in Japan, extremely well there. So it's obvious after they kind of tested the market a bit by asking, would you guys like to see this? Everyone said yes. And then they told us, we hear you guys. So yeah, and honestly, it can run on a computer in like super low resolution mode on integrated visuals, and it works fine. So obviously, there was no issue. They even said it themselves that it could run on the Switch. It was more a matter of when. Now, Fortnite is as obvious as it gets. I mean, come on. They're putting Fortnite on everything right now, right? It's on cell phones right now, tablets. Of course, they're going to put it on the Switch. It's on Unreal Engine 4. Epic is obviously a master of Unreal Engine 4 because they made it. So, of course, they want to do something like that where you can get Fortnite on as much stuff as possible. Apparently, that has 8 banners there. I guess me pushing it along with Mario Tennis Aces in terms of marketing power there. Monster Hunter, again, no surprise. FIFA 19, yeah, pretty standard. That seems to be the only EA game on the Switch at this point, so of course they're going to push that. We already know it's coming too. Killer Queen Black. We're going to get back to this actually pretty soon because that is a very interesting one, and I want to talk a little bit about it. Starlink, again, that's nothing fancy there. Paladins, that one's interesting because that, along with Fortnite, are free-to-play games, although Fortnite does have a buy-in option, of course. Paladins, I thought, was mostly free-to-play, so I'm trying to figure out what they'll be advertising in terms of buying, but maybe I guess they just want you to download it so they can you can give them money for, microtransactions, things like that. Overcooked 2, that basically is the announcement for the next Overcooked game. Like, the developers or the people behind this aren't even going to get to announce it because it's basically been announced right here. They might as well go on Twitter tomorrow and just announce it at this point. Mario Tennis Aces, yeah, nothing fancy there. Let's go back to Killer Queen Black real quick. So Killer Queen Black is an arcade game. It's a 10-player arcade strategy game. That's exactly how they describe it. They even say on their website, which you can check out, 2 teams, each led by a powerful queen, face off to be the first to bring the giant snail god home, fill their hive with nectar, or execute a triple assassination of the enemy queen. Believe it or not, this arcade machine is actually pretty popular where you can actually play it. That's my problem. If I wanted to play this game, I'd have to drive to New York City or Washington, D.C., because those are really the closest ones to me. So if you have not heard of this game, that's probably because an arcade machine does not exist near you. Now, they have a lot of YouTube videos and things like that to kind of get you familiar with it, but I believe Killer Queen Black, if I had to take a guess as to what that is, more than likely that is like their console version of it. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe it's honestly just been moved over to the Switch to take advantage of the Switch's unique features, things like that. But I think that's going to be more of a smaller indie game that shows up. But a lot of people who have played the arcade machine say it's a ton of fun. And they actually point out the Switch as being probably the best way to bring that to consoles just because of the features from the Switch. And then Overcooked 2, Overcooked 1, of course, went to the Switch, did well there. They said it did very well. So it's obvious that if they're going to do another one, would also go to the Switch. But I don't know if this is going to be one of those timed exclusive things or something. Maybe it goes to Switch first and other places after that, or maybe they're just announcing it at E3 and everyone is going to have some kind of banner for it. But either way, apparently Overcooked 2 is happening. Both Paladins and Fortnite, 2 free-to-play games, are apparently coming to the Switch. The one that I did hear about for a while now behind the scenes is Dragon Ball FighterZ. That's the one that I think a lot of people have heard behind the scenes that was happening. Fortnite, no one needs to really tell you that. We all knew it was coming, so that's not a surprise. Dragon Ball FighterZ is going to be pretty cool to see, though, on the Switch. So I guess get excited for that. Both Kotaku and Destructoid have both chimed in saying that this list is correct, and I checked with other people. This list is correct. So there you go. E3 leaks ahead of time. Pretty much all third-party except for Mario Tennis Aces. So let me know what you guys think about this list down below. I think some of you are probably excited for things like Dragon Ball FighterZ, probably like a Fortnite, and maybe you're now just interested in something like Killer Queen Black since it really hasn't done much outside of arcades. Next up, let's actually talk about FIFA 19 a little bit on the Nintendo Switch, because the one thing about FIFA 18 is that it used a custom game engine, which was not Frostbite. That's why it didn't have like the single player journey that they had, the journey mode. And it doesn't look like 19 is going to either. It looks like that's going to also be that custom game engine that they build off of, which is kind of unfortunate. That makes sense why maybe Madden isn't on the Switch, right? It's because that Frostbite engine is not compatible yet for them to put on the Switch. They have not ruled it out yet. But in an interview here, as you're seeing with Dream Team FC, they talked to the producer for FIFA, and they kind of go over it a little more, saying that They're not closing the door on the possibility of something like Frostbite, but they didn't want to create a dumbed down version of the Frostbite engine, so they're not going to close the door on it. Basically, they don't want to compromise the Frostbite engine. If it's going to the Switch, it's going to be the full Frostbite engine. Now, they could be working on it still, and this is, again, it's just not ready, so they're going to build off that custom engine, but they spent some time. Honestly, FIFA worked well on the Switch. It just didn't look as good as the other versions, obviously. This one, apparently, they're going to make it look even better. Apparently, a substantial jump in visuals. So I guess they've had an extra year to work on that engine that they built from the ground up for the Switch. So performance was at least good. I'll give them that, and we'll see if it actually is that big of a jump. It's a shame that they haven't put Frostbite on there yet, because then things like Madden would just be put on the Switch. That's a game that the Switch is missing, Madden. While you might not like Madden, or people you know, there are people who love Madden. And honestly, a portable Madden experience on something like the Switch, I think would actually be really cool, because we had it on the PSP, we had it on the Vita, but we don't have it on the Switch, and I think that's kind of an issue there. And our last bit of news, let's talk about Assassin's Creed, because I am honestly surprised about this one. I didn't think we would see an Assassin's Creed this E3. I thought we'd see something with Watch Dogs. I guess we still kind of could from Ubisoft, but it looks like, yeah, Assassin's Creed will be there. And what's funny is this was another E3 leak that then had to be confirmed by Ubisoft, or by another company, in this case Ubisoft. E3 stuff has been leaking out everywhere, hasn't it? Is it just me, or is this seriously, this is like the leakiest E3 I remember in a while. But yeah, another Assassin's Creed called Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm not kidding. This was originally leaked out by a website named Video Live, and they originally saw marketing stuff with shirts, keychains, and here's the thing about this. Assassin's Creed Origins was technically leaked out the same way. If you remember, they found shirts in a GameStop for Assassin's Creed Origins, and then we knew about Assassin's Creed Origins. Apparently, this one is going to take place in ancient Greece. So they have, as you can see, kind of the helmet and everything with the keychain that kind of is for that time period. And from what we're hearing, it might build off of the Assassin's Creed Origins engine, and that's why they've been able to turn it around so fast, because I was sure this would be Watch Dogs time, but maybe because Assassin's Creed Origins did so well and they're trying to continue their games as a service, they figure, hey, we'll just use that same game engine and we'll just, we'll turn it around, and here we go, another Assassin's Creed. I'm a little concerned about that, though, because I think that was an issue for them for a little while there, where we were just getting Assassin's Creed every single year, and you start getting kind of tired of it. Sometimes, if a game series is absent for a year, maybe even 2 years, it's very, very popular when it shows up. And I think that's why Assassin's Creed Origins, honestly, was pretty popular, because it skipped the year before, it gave us Watch Dogs 2, and then here comes Assassin's Creed Origins, and everyone was all excited because there wasn't Assassin's Creed before. It could be a mistake if they continuously do Assassin's Creed every year. Now, we don't know if it's coming out this year, but I mean, it seems like that might be the case right now, unless they do announce it and then say next year. But why wouldn't they just put the spotlight on Watch Dogs then? And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Newswave today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, guys. Really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today, that E3 leak. Let me know what you think. I mean, we have, I guess, Dragon Ball FighterZ is showing up there. I guess Fortnite, a new arcade game. This is pretty cool to see this. Now, this, I will tell you now, is not the full leak. It's not the full lineup. There's still a lot of stuff that's coming, okay, a lot of surprises, so don't get hung up on this being everything. No, I think this is honestly for either stuff coming out soon. Like, I feel like if Dragon Ball FighterZ was coming out on the Switch, it would have to come out soonish before mayhem breaks loose here when we get into the holiday season. Same with Fortnite. I think Fortnite is almost ready to go, like, soon. Of course, Mario Tennis Aces is out at the end of June, the end of this month. So yeah, I think a lot of the stuff is coming out soon, and that's why they're doing a lot of marketing materials around E3, because they're trying to market stuff that's happening this year, the next couple months, probably, because we already know Fire Emblem's coming out at the later this year, we assume, in the holiday season. So no, this isn't their whole lineup. There's a lot of third-party stuff, and it looks to be stuff that's probably coming soon. So keep that in mind. Also, let me think about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's so, people are putting like pictures of, the character of Assassin's Creed in like, the Mario hat and everything. But I mean, that's the name they're going with, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Let me think about that. And of course, guys, let me know what you think about anything else we talked about today. And I will see you guys Monday. We're going to have Newswave again Monday, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and I'll see you then.